Hello again and welcome back. If you are new around here, then hi, nice to meet you, and if you're returning, then thank you very fucking much for coming back. My name is Alana and I'm a 30-something lady who likes to talk about fucking makeup, lifestyle, travel, bullshit, but I do always have a liberal sprinkling of sarcasm in between. Today, we're going to be doing this red look, red blush draping and red lip look. I did mention at the start of last month, I think it was, I was going to start doing What's New Wednesdays and Wearable Wednesdays, so this is Wearable Wednesdays. If you haven't been here before, then you maybe don't know that I quite like to say fuck, shite or bugger, and I do have a bit of a sweary old mouth. It's because I'm from Scotland and it just rolls off the tongue, I'm sorry. So if you're not into that kind of thing, that's absolutely fine, please feel free to vacate. But if you are into that kind of thing and you think you would like to see how to create this look, then there is a little subscription button down here. Please feel free to click it and give me a little like, that is smashing. This is the look I'm going to create today, and as I said already, I was looking at some kind of more editorial looks and trying to translate them into real life. So that is what we're going to do today. That sounds like your kind of thing, then just keep on watching. Oh, I feel like I'm super duper pale since I put colour back through my hair again. As you can see, I've just put my kind of orangey copper tones back through. I feel like I look really drained and really pale. Grab yourself a tea, a coffee, a cuppa, beer if you so wish. But this video is going to be, I explained earlier in the month or earlier last month, I was going to start doing What's New Wednesday or Wearable Wednesdays. So this is going to be a Wearable Wednesday this week. There is a Boots haul, I think, coming next week for What's New Wednesday, but that's because I purchased it back in July. So what I've been doing is saving images on Pinterest, kind of editorial makeup images that I've liked, I've been interested in, or ones that I think I could maybe change that into a more wearable everyday look. I'm going to put a few photos up here because these are the two I was kind of looking at this week. I was looking at hundreds this week, but this is the one I wanted to go for this week, and it's kind of blush draping, because you know I love a bit of blush draping, and it's red. So red blusher is probably a little bit frightening and people will be like, oh god, I wouldn't wear that every day, and certainly the images that I'm putting up here are a lot more striking than I am going to be wearing, because I'm actually going out with friends this evening. So I'm going to do this kind of red and gold look, but I'm going to make it a wearable look to wear out to go and have dinner and drinks with friends. So these are the two images that I've took my inspiration from. I think one is from Illamasqua actually, but if I can credit the people who have done the looks, then I will down below, or I'll put it on the screen. The unfortunate thing with Pinterest is it's very difficult sometimes, because if you just want a pin and like share a picture almost, it could be anybody's work, so it can be quite difficult to know who it is that's actually created the look. This is who I've taken it from, so I don't want to be like claimed to be stealing ideas or anything like that. But that's the kind of looks we're going to go for today, and we're going to try and make it as wearable as possible. So let's get started. As I said, I look very pale. I'm going to start off with this from Spectrum. It's one of their pinch pots, and this is the one Joyful, which is a kind of pink colour, but it's got a kind of more red undertone than it does like a Barbie pink colour. So I'm going to start off with building some colour around about the area. Just while we're speaking about Spectrum, I want to just flag something up, because as you know, I always like to be super duper honest about things here, and I have ranted and raved about the KGH collection, and I don't want it to be, oh, I've been ranting and raving about it and then something's happened and I've not spoke out about it, because I think you have to be honest, you have to give constructive criticism to brands, because if you don't, then they won't know how to rectify things that just aren't right. So in saying that, I've washed the brushes, god, I don't know, I've had the brushes maybe 3-4 months now. I got the second release, I didn't get the first release that came out. And I've washed them, you know, maybe once a week, depending on how often I've used the brush. And I do use the Cinema Secrets to get off like pigment initially, but then deep clean them once a week when they're really dirty. So this is the number 3 brush, and I'm hoping you can see here. I will zoom in a minute and you can see properly. And this is one of the dual fibre ones. Now there's a dual fibre one that is slanted. Hold on, I'll show you. This one here. Okay, so there's like a slanted dual fibre, and then this one here, which is the straight dual fibre. But if you can see, basically when I was washing it, this side here just started to completely unravel, and you can probably see the strands are just coming off of my hand here. So this side is all just like coming out of the ferrule now. I spoke about it on Instagram stories, and a lot of people messaged me saying that a few of their brushes, not a lot, but maybe like maybe like 5 or 6 people saying that they had similar things with different brushes from the kit. Somebody actually messaged me saying the exact same thing happened to their number 3, but other people were telling me like the small one, the little like tiny with a spoolie on the end, I think it is. I don't have it to hand here, I was looking, it's over there and I can't be bothered to go and get it. But that had actually just fell down inside the ferrule as well. Other people told me like the middle of the brushes had like fell down inside. So I think the thing to remember is, like, I'm going to be honest, I think they're wonderful brushes. I think they're really, really good. I love the forward thinkingness of them. I think they're really, really good because it makes me feel like there's a brush that can really do inspirational looks. Like, it's not just your bog standard brushes. They make me feel more inspired when I'm using them. But they are expensive. It was £150 for this set or thereabouts. I know they can be even more expensive in other countries, let's say Canada for instance, once you factor in shipping and things like that. So I just wanted to flag it up. In saying that, when I did speak about it on Instagram stories, they actually did reach out to me, Spectrum, and say, so sorry to hear this, what is your address and we will send you a replacement out straight away. And I have to say, that kind of customer service is top notch, second to none. That is exactly what companies should be doing, because it isn't acceptable for brushes to be doing this kind of thing after 3 months and probably about 10 to 12 washes, if that, if I've washed them once a week, you know. So it's not really acceptable for that to happen, and they were absolutely fine about it. Just very much, what is your address, we will send it out to you, can you confirm it's the number 3, and that was it, done and dusted. There was no fucking funny business, no nonsense, and they just got on with it, and I thought that was such a good response. So I just wanted to flag it up though, because as I do like to say, oh, I love this, I love that, but I do like to let you know as well if something kind of goes a bit amiss with things. So I'm not saying don't pick up the collection, not at all. I think there's always going to be somebody gets a duff brush somewhere or something happens. It's not like any of the other brushes have done it. And as I say, when I'm putting it out onto Instagram, 5 or 6 people messaging me back saying that it had happened. It was good to know I wasn't the only one, but obviously 5 or 6 in the grand scheme of things isn't that many, but you must get the odd 1 or 2 that just slips through the net. These things happen, and the company rectified it straight away, so I was happy with that. But I just thought I would let you know. Anyway, we'll go back onto the look now that I've blabbered on for 10 minutes. So I'm going to just start using this, and I am using the little brush that comes with it, the Spectrum ones, because I do think they're very, very good for putting this on. I've just got totally blinded by the sun. Hold on. Sorry, the sun just came blading in the window there. Okay, so we're going to just start using this in this area here, like you could see on the pictures. And it is going to maybe look a little bit like you've got a rash, but don't worry. I'm going to try and make it look as au natural as possible. And I am going to just sweep it through this area here as well, because I do want it to look like wearable, as I say, something that you could wear out and about. And what I might even do is build this colour up and say, well, do you know what, I could just wear this out for a walk, or I could just wear this out to the park, and I could wear this out and escalate it for my evening out this evening. So I'm just going to do that same on the other side. And some people, I think, feel like they run the risk of, if they do something like this, they're gonna look like they've got sore eyes or something. I used to worry about that quite a lot, but actually the more and more I've kind of practiced with this and enjoyed doing it, I actually think it can be really, really effective and very, very pretty with whatever shade you're using. Now I am gonna bring it up over the eyebrow as well, and I'm just gonna bring it into the hairline up here too. I think that's the important thing. You need to make it look like it's blended well into these other areas, otherwise it can look a little stark and a little 80s blush. Nothing wrong with 80s blush, by the way. Also, nothing wrong if you want to wear the fucking Editorial one out and about, go for it. I just thought I would do something a little bit more wearable, because I know on Instagram, certainly, if you're not following me over there, why the fuck not? But get over there, because I do really like kind of out there looks on Instagram, and they're probably ones that people don't wear out and about. They wouldn't usually wear it, but for the summer I think this is a really pretty look, and I think you could absolutely achieve it just toned down a little bit and just worn in a slightly different way. Now I'm going to bring some of that kind of right onto the cheeks here as well, just because I think they'll make it pop a little, like make me look quite there, quite, what's that? And with the excess not dipping back in, I'm just going to run some across the top of my nose there as well. I always feel that kind of ties everything in too. So that is it there, and that looks quite subtle, it's very pretty. You could just put on a beautiful like shimmery lid, or just a touch of maybe like a liquid eyeshadow or something, just a really nice sheen across the lids, a nice lip and some lashes, like mascara, and you could be out the door and just have this nice kind of blush drape look, and it would be very soft and very pretty. But as I say, I'm going out this evening and I want to amp it up a little bit. I am also going to put on some faux freckles now, and I'm going to do that before I add any other colours or layers, because I want it to look like the skin is peeking through. Also, I should have said I didn't have any base on, it was just my skincare. I just started off with some really nice skincare, a nice moisturiser, and an SPF if I was going out during the day. But today I'm going to be going out in the evening, so I'm not going to be putting on SPF before I go out. Alright, so zoomed you in a little bit. You have seen me put on faux freckles before a million times, so it's not going to be any great new tips that I'm giving you. But I'm going to, as I said, put them on underneath, or sorry, underneath the next layer that I'm going to apply. And I'm just dabbing across the face, and as I've said before, again, in this area here. Almost exactly where I'm putting the blush, because for me, that is where I get the most freckles. Now I am going to go pretty ham with the freckles, because I feel like I really want this to burst through the look, but also because I think it just adds to the look, making it look really kind of pretty and a little bit whimsical, almost a little bit kind of fairy-like, or what's the, nymph-like, but then nymph, does that make me sound like I'm a sex freak? That's not what I meant. And as usual, what I do is accentuate my own freckles where they actually are, so that it looks a little more natural, and then just put little tiny ones that aren't mine. But these ones here, like the two here, I do have freckles there, two kind of bigger freckles, so I always accentuate them to look a little darker. What I've been doing as well is like adding one just in here on the lid, because I think that having that little bit on the lid just kind of makes it look even more realistic, because freckles would show up everywhere, not just across your nose. Alright, so that's me put on my faux freckles. Now I'm going to go in with, sounds a little bit scary, but a little bit of red. So I took out this palette here. This is from BH, and it's a Drop Dead Gorgeous Little Bit Psycho palette. It was released Halloween last year, I want to say, and clearly it looks like it could be quite a good Halloween palette. But I'm going to go in with this one here, which is vamped on a very, very loose brush. So this is not a stiff brush at all, it's very, very loose, but I'm going to very lightly, very, very lightly, and even maybe like shake off some of that red and airbrush almost in these areas where I want it. And I'm touching so lightly on the skin when I'm doing this, because I do not want it to be like I've just stamped red on my face in the one area and it's not blendable. So I'm very, very, very lightly kind of just going over this area, and then bringing it up around here too. And again, just make sure you're really working that into the hairline and in past, even past the brow. Just work it through your brow if you want. I've not done anything to my brows yet, so just work it right through it. Oh, Molly is behind me now. She's giving a big purse back there. She's a sweetheart. She's actually got slightly sore skin again at the moment, and I don't know why. So we bought some stuff, it's like all natural stuff, so it's got like apple cider vinegar in it and all that, but it's supposed to be like a moisturiser for cats. Don't fucking ask me how it works, it was Alan that ordered it. But basically, like, I brush her every night now, and I put it on the bits where her skin is sore, and then I just massage it into her fur, and it seems to be helping. But yeah, she's just, I don't know what it is, and I'm loath to go back to the vet. Do you know why? Because the vet, when I went, was like, oh, clearly she's got fleas. And I was like, she's a house cat, like, where did she get fucking fleas from? Like, I'll flea them anyway, that's fine, but she's also a white cat, and I couldn't see a single fucking flea on her. Like, you would notice it on a white cat, but they said they thought that it was because she was maybe bitten by a flea and had an allergic reaction. And I was like, right, okay. So we flea'd her, obviously, and she got some, what was it, hydrocortisone. She got like a steroid jab for the flare up on her skin. And then that's us, maybe that only happened maybe like 3 months ago, 3-4 months ago, and we flea'd her again since, even though they're indoor cats. And she's got it again, and I'm like, she's not fucking fleas, she doesn't have fleas, motherfucker. So I don't want to go back to that vet now. The vet even said herself, like, oh, and I says, oh, I was very polite about it. I was like, oh, well, what can I do to avoid this happening again? And she was like, oh, well, you need to flea. And I said, well, I'm just a little confused because they're indoor cats. Like, is that normal for indoor cats? And she was like, oh, are they? And instantly, like, when she said it, I thought, you're fucking giving me into trouble for not looking after my cats. You didn't even fucking realise that they're indoor cats. It's not the fucking case at all, like, you motherfucker. I was really annoyed about that, actually, but never mind. So, I don't know. I think she's maybe just got quite sensitive skin, if I'm honest with you. Now, if you're looking at me at the moment thinking, whoa, you now look like you've got sunburn, that's a little scary. That's okay. I'm going to go back in with the Spectrum one and just start to blend around about as well again. And we are going to go in with a little bit of concealer and work into other areas. Now, before I go in with the concealer, I'm going to sort out what I'm doing on the eyelids. So with the same palette, this one here, I'm gonna go in with, no, tell a lie, do you know what I'm gonna use? I'm gonna use this one from Kaleidos. Did you see that Kaleidos' Instagram got hacked? Anybody who's ordered from them before, you probably got an email. I got an email. And anyway, I'm gonna go in with, this is the copper, is that right? Cyber bronze, sorry. And I'm going to go in with infrared, which is this beautiful red colour right here. And I'm taking that in quite a large kind of fluffy brush. Again, this is just a BH brush, it's nothing fancy. And I'm sure this set, BH number 2 is still available as well. So this is a nice kind of shimmery red. So I just want to add this in through the socket and bring it up. And what I will do is then pull it out into this blush that I've got going on. And there we go. So it's just one colour all over the lid, and I've lifted it right up under the brow but very softly, and then kind of pulled it out this way. And now I'm going to go back in with that little bit Psycho palette and with the Vamp shade, the red one, and I'm just going to add a little bit more because it is a little more of a brighter red just to here, and again just really softly pulling that out. So the other red gives it a lovely shimmer, but this keeps it that kind of more red colour rather than going bronze or like a kind of copper red. And even take that out like on the little brush that you've got, just sweeping around and about this area just to tie it all in together. And then I'm going to go back in with this one here. This is also from BH actually. I'm using a lot of BH today. And I'm just going to start like blending that together again because I don't want it to be stark. Now for the eyelids, I'm going to take a beautiful gold from my Mcgrath, and this is the Celestial Divinity palette. If this palette is still available, fucking buy it because it's beautiful. I know it had kind of mixed reviews, but personally I think it's amazing. I'm going to go in with, what's it called? Lunar Champagne. That's what I'm going to go in with. I'm going to take up my finger and I'm just going to press that right from the inner corner into the middle a little. And then I'm going to go in with a slightly smaller brush, like a little kind of stubby like smudging brush, and I'm just going to take that again, the same one, the champagne one, but I'm just going to get right in to the little bits where my finger cannot reach. And I'm also going to kind of bring that up a little, just flick it up ever so slightly. And then I'm going to go in with, what is this one? Bronze Nebula, which yes, it is bronzy, but I'm going to take that just in here because I feel like it probably needs a little bit of warmth to it, a little bit of colour. Otherwise the champagne, the Lunar Champagne can get a little bit silvery almost, which is a little strange. And then back in with Lunar Champagne just under that bit there. Not the inner corner, like your tear duct almost. I'm just taking the excess of the champagne colour over that copper as well, just to tie it together a wee bit better. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a little bit of Cosmic, which is like a golden iridescent pink. It's very, very interesting. It's like a lot of different colours. I'm just going to lightly tap that between the gold and the red, because I think pulling that pink, and I'm just going to bring it up a little onto the brow bone. I think just by tying that in with the red, it's going to look really cool. Right, so I'm going to go in with another Kaleidos palette. I know I look pretty pink just now, but again, we are going to go in with concealer, do not worry. And I'm going to go in with the Club Nebula palette. I'm going to use this one here, which is Red Giant. I'm going to take this on a very small brush. This is a Refer 03. I'm going to just take that very lightly across the lash line and then bring it into the outer corner as well. And then I'm going back into my Pat palette and I'm going to take, what's this one called? Saturnalia, I think. It's like a really beautiful red colour. It's this one here. But it is got a slight shimmer to it, but not the same as the one that was in the BH. The BH one is a little more of a pinky purple red. This one again is a little more coppery. And I'm gonna just run that right under here. This is a stunning colour. Like, actually, I'm just gonna swatch it for you. Absolutely gorgeous. That's it there. I mean, you're not getting a great swatch there, but it's honestly stunning. This palette is stunning. I love it. It's one of my favourite palettes. Like I say, I know some people give it a bit of a bad rep, and I was like, I don't get it because it's absolutely beautiful. People were saying, oh, it's not as good as the big palettes. Personally, I reach for this one a lot more than I do for my, what one have I got? Mothership 2, is it that I've got? The green one? I reach for this way more often. Yeah, it's a little bit more of like an accompanying palette because it's all kind of wild colours. But personally, I think this adds so much more pop to a look. It just gives you a real, like, fucking kick in the balls, basically. And it just is amazing. The colours in it are fantastic. And then I'm going to go back into Red Giant out of the Angelica Nyquist Kaleidos palette. And very, very slightly on the outer corner, on the lower lash line, pop that here. Now, brows. I'm just going to push my brows up. This is my LARAFAYE. This is their spoolie that they do, and it's very, very good. Again, that's something with the KGH one. She's got a spoolie and like a brush at the end of the spoolie. She's got like a double-sided one. Personally, that kind of doesn't bother me, but like you either have to put the spoolie in or you have to put the brush into the pot. So I actually wish she just made a separate one, but I know I get it. It's like meant to be for travel and all that kind of thing. It works better. This is the Beauty Pie. What do they call it again? Arch something. Archology Eyebrow Sculpting Gel, and I am actually quite enjoying this. I think it's very nice, and I think I mentioned before it is quite like the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary brows, but I'm going to be honest with you, I think that the brush on the Charlotte Tilbury is better, but this is a really good, like, it fixes them in place. I do enjoy that about it. I feel like it stays put where they're supposed to be. So in Scotland at the moment, like I said, I'm going to go out for dinner and some drinks tonight, and we're going somewhere, going to Block basically in Glasgow, if you know where that is. And it's somewhere where you can get like burgers, nachos, hot dogs, stuff like that, as well as a pint, you know, like as well as a drink. So we're not going to like a restaurant and then anywhere, we're just going to the one place. And it's the first time in the pandemic that we are allowed to like go to the bar. We don't need to get table service. I mean, I think they're still doing table service, but you can actually walk up to the bar and order a round of drinks, so that's a little bit daunting. I went to the gym the other day as well, and now they've taken away the social distancing. They don't need to do it anymore, so that freaks me out a little bit as well. I'm feeling very apprehensive about all these things being taken away. Certainly in work, in my hospital, and I think most of Greater Glasgow and Clyde, like in the hospitals, they are still doing masks, they are still doing the social distancing, but I think slowly it will all peter out. I think in the hospitals they're going to keep it going for a long time yet, but it's just making me feel a bit like, oh, I don't know if I like it. Alright, for eyelashes, I'm going to go in with this from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Pillow Talk Push Up Lashes, and I just kind of thought I want to use this because my Lancome is desperately on the way out. I need a new one, but as I said, this month I am not buying anything. If I need to get one, I'll maybe pick up one when we are down in London in September. And as I say, like, maybe what I'll do in September is just spend money, like obviously I'm going to spend money. I still spend money on things like household stuff every month, but you know, beauty stuff, clothes, stuff like that I don't really need. In August I am not buying anything like that, and then I hold on until the September to see if I needed it, but I might try and do it through the September apart from when I'm in London, because I might really struggle if I see something that I really like. Alright, so that is mascara on, and actually I'm really enjoying this look so far. I really, really like it. I'm gonna add on a little bronzer and a little concealer now, and again, I'm gonna take this one from Beauty Pie. This is their Super Luminous Under Eye Corrector. Now, this is the one that I spoke about in the video, like, oh, is it a dupe for Glossier? I definitely think this is a little thicker than Glossier. It's definitely not the same product, no way. But it does work, it is a nice product. I'm gonna just, sorry, I'm just taking it right in there where things are a little bluer. Just right in there. And don't worry about, like, if you're thinking, oh, you can knock back some of that blush. If it's too much, take it under here as well and just blend that together. That's totally acceptable. Like, do what the fuck you want with your makeup. I'm gonna take a little bit just round about the nose. But I have noticed this is just a little heavier. I also noticed when I was back on Beauty Pie, post actually purchasing, to be fair, that's my fault, but I noticed when I was on, I went back to check prices and get the links and stuff for that video, and yeah, the shade range of this is pish. So this is light medium, it's too light for me almost, and then the other one is like deep to or medium deep or tan deep or something like that. So there's only two colour ranges. Personally, I think this is a little light for what it is. So if that's too light, like, I dread to think what the deeper one is like. Probably never going to work on anybody who's got a deeper skin tone than me. Like, I just think it will be far too light. So I still think Beauty Pie are really failing on that area. I think they really need to step up that fucking game with regards to colour ranges. Now, I know they've done a lot of work with foundations, and they're doing, like, you can pick a packet up for like 6 different shades and test them, but why not bring out concealers and stuff? Like, why not do different shade ranges in that? Maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, maybe they are currently trying to do that while they are bringing out the foundations. I know they can't do everything at once, but I mean, it's been at least a year since they said they were going to do something about it, so I feel a little bit like surely now they should be. We shall see. But this I'm going to take now is the Vive Modern Bronzer. I'm going to go into medium 2, the slightly deeper one, and I'm going to go in with my LARAFAYE F02, which is my fucking favourite, as you well know. But I have to obviously say, again, I have been sent PR from LARAFAYE, just so you are aware of it. So I'll have that up on the screen now, and I do have a code with LARAFAYE. It is not an affiliate code, I don't get any kickback from it, but I have received PR from them before. I'm just putting that in here just for a little bit more contour, and I'm going to just dust a very light amount of it across the nose here and the cheeks too. And then again round the temples area and across the forehead, just to tie things together. And I probably will take it all the way down my chest as well, because I've got like a top that comes on and shows a bit more of my chest. Alright, so I've kind of swooped that away there with that brush, so I'm just going to stick that up again. But as I say, they stay in place, they do really well with that stuff. Okay, so I think that is everything. We're going to put on a bit of a red lip, and I'm going to put on some of the Vive Skin Dew because I think it's beautiful, and it has a golden undertone to it, so actually I think this is going to work beautifully with this look. I did consider putting on Bronzino from Tower 28, but I think, I don't know, maybe I'll put both on. Shall I put both on? Put a little bit of the Skin Dew right there because I think it looks beautiful just in that little Cupid's bow area. Yeah, let's just go in with a little bit of the Tower 28. I'm going to take it on the brush that had some of the red on it, so it's still tying in quite nicely, and I'm just going to take that in this area here. Meld it a little bit into the powder bronzer that I put on, again with a very, very light hand though. I'm not going like using a lot of product, and I'm not going too heavy with it. Okay, so I've zoomed you in a little bit just so you can see a close-up of the eyes and how they look, and kind of red, and then I will show you round about the hairline here as well, and you can see that red, but it's not like the same as the picture I showed you. It's not like too striking, but we've kind of melded it together quite nicely, and I actually think it looks really, really pretty. Alright, so I'm going to go in with a red lip now. You might be thinking, God, a red lip as well, like that's a lot of red, but I think this is actually going to pull it together and tie it together quite nicely. So I'm going to go in with this. This is from NYX and it is the Slide On Glide On Stay On and Definitely Turn On lip pencil. And this is in Brick House, which is a little, it is red. It's got a little bit of an orangey undertone to it. There we go. And I was going to put on Devoted to Chili, but I think that's going to take away and make it more orangey, especially with my hair the way it is at the moment. I think I really want a proper red lip with this, so I'm going to instead go in with MAC's Russian Red. This is easily one of my favourite red lipsticks of all time. I adore it. Yeah, no, I like that though. I think that actually goes really, really well with this kind of red look. I think it's very, very nice. I think the only thing I will do is pop on a few more faux freckles on the face before I go out the house tonight. Maybe top up the lipstick before I go out as well, because obviously I've got things to do around the house now. It is earlier in the day, but before I go out tonight, that's probably all I will do. Add a little more blush on maybe, add a little bit more bronzer if it wears throughout the day. But I hope you've liked this. What do you think? Do you think this is a wearable Wednesday? Would you wear this out and about? I think this is glorious. I think this is brilliant. Maybe I would wear something a little softer, as I said, that kind of more pared down blush drape look during the day if you were going out and about. But especially if you're going out for like dinner and drinks, I think this is absolutely perfect. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you're all well. What is happening in your area of the world? Are you still in tight lockdown, or are you starting to be able to sneak out and go places? Oh my god, look, I've just noticed her. Hi. Isn't she adorable? She's an angel, a tiny baby angel. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here and I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope this has been useful. If you like things like this, if you're enjoying Wearable Wednesday, why don't you DM me a look over on Instagram, something that you like the look of but you're not sure how to go about it or how to make it more wearable for your life. Why don't you do that as well? That would be amazing. And I will leave it at that and I will see you all again in the next one. Bye.